Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 7. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. Today is the day we set up refined storage. Basically our long-term major storage solution that will be able to store everything we could possibly want and then some, and also has all sorts of options for automation and integrated crafting and all sorts of cool stuff. So between episodes, I started moving some things down here to what will be our main storage room. These are all, here's basically the plan. I'm going to have storage drawers for a lot of the different things that we're going to get tons and tons and tons of. Everything that we automate will have a storage drawer. So like, for example, we're pulling up all of these blocks by using our quarry. We want to make sure those have a designated drawer. All the ores and ingots and stuff like that, we want a designated drawer for it. Anything we're going to have just a massive quantity of, we want to have its own designated drawer. And the reason for that is because not only can you store a lot of the thing in one of these drawers, you can also put a void upgrade, which prevents your storage system from backing up, and that's super important. Everything else, we are going to have a bunch of these disk drives, and each of these drives holds, I believe, 6 disks, if I remember off the top of my head, and each of those disks, we're going to use 64K storage disks. These hold a lot of items. So basically, between the storage disks and all the storage drawers, we will have tons and tons of item storage available to us, and we should be good basically for the rest of the series once this is all set up properly. Now, I'm not saying we're going to fill up all of these drives and disks today because they're kind of a pain to craft, if I'm being honest. If you look at one of these 64K disks, you need a storage housing, which is actually really easy, but then you need a 64K storage part, which requires 3 16K storage parts, which each require 3 4K, and which each require 3 1K. So you need and that's just for one single disk. So yeah, it's a lot of crafting, and it's a massive pain to do until you really can automate them. So we're not going to set up tons and tons of drives today, but we'll set up enough that we can store all the stuff that we have. The other thing we're going to need a ton of are these external storage items right here. And what these allow you to do is connect an external storage system, such as a chest or a storage drawer, to your refined storage system. So that is, we're going to need, we're basically going to need one of these for every single one of these drawers, which is, I don't remember exactly how many that is. I think it's something like 3 stacks of drawers, give or take. I don't know exactly, but we're going to need quite a few of these. We're going to need a bunch of cables, and in order to make all this stuff, there's a whole bunch of refined storage components. So there's quartz-enriched iron, which is just iron and quartz. That's relatively easy. Construction and destruction. Ooh, I'm going to need a bunch of glowstone dust. I didn't think of that. I'm going to have to go into the nether and get a bunch. That's fine. That won't actually be that difficult to do with a fortune pick and the ability to fly. So that shouldn't be too bad. But still, yeah, lots of stuff to do. We're going to need silicon, which you get by smelting quartz. We're going to need processors, which you get by combining silicon, some sort of gem or ingot, redstone, and then processor bindings. Processor bindings, it's 2 string and a slime ball to make 8 of them. So that should be fine. I've got quite a bit of slime because if you look at if you look at Journey Map, all of these islands are slime islands, and you can just go there and just get a ton of slime balls very, very easily. And string, that's actually not that hard to get either, because you can throw wool into a macerator or a pulverizer and get 4 of those. So again, not too terrible. I've also done a little bit of automating here with my smeltery because I'm using it to smelt up all these different dusts. So what we can do is throw dust into this chest, and then it gets sucked into the controller with a transporter, right? It'll then smelt, into, the molten stuff. And afterwards, if you just run a simple redstone line right above these faucets, and then you provided a redstone signal, like with a lever. Do I have enough blocks in here? Oh yeah, easily. You can see it will automatically fill for you, and then you can run some sort of item conduit to suck the blocks out when they're done into a chest. And once that's finished, as long as it's still getting a signal, it'll just pour new blocks. And you can just kind of let that do its thing. So that's just a good way to process a lot of ore dust very quickly. But anyway, I have a ton of crafting and stuff like that to do to get everything ready for this refined storage system. So let me get to it. All right, my friends, after quite a bit of crafting and a lot of block placing, and I'll show you why, I think everything is ready to go. So back here, I have put all of these external storage drives in place. And when you put them down, you need to right-click them and set them to a higher priority than whatever you're going to set your main disk drive to. And the reason for that is because if something has its own designated storage drawer, you want the system to push items to that rather than storing them in the disk drive. So let's set up the actual refined storage system here. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to plop a drive here. We're going to put on top of it the crafting grid. Well, actually, do we want to put it there or here? I think, yeah, we want it here. And then we'll plop a drawer controller right here, connected to this guy. Just a blazing energy cell, and that will power all the things. Then in here, we're going to put 2 of these. I don't like that there's a little light glitch. That's kind of annoying, but it's fine. And then last but not least, we're going to hook this whole thing up to all of these storage drawers. So you can see quite a lot of stuff is available to us here in our system. And if we want to find something, we can, we want to search for redstone, we can just grab it right there and it will pull it out and all that kind of good stuff. So I think at this point, we are ready to start dumping stuff in. So to demonstrate, we have 15 glass in storage right now. Now we have 164. It's that fast, and it's so nice to have a system like this that you can just, everything you need, just dump it into the system and basically be good to go. Also, I should probably make a drawer for these. Just thinking about it. Let's make sure we lock that right away. And grab ourselves one of those, and also one of these, because I want everything to have at least a single bronze upgrade on it. We'll just come back here. I wanted to make sure I gave myself plenty of space, so we'll do that, and there we go. And this is the right one? Yes. Okay, good. All right, so there we go. Now, as I said, it's just a matter of taking all of our stuff and just dumping it into the system where it can be stored more permanently. These drives, they will fill up, but 64,000 is a lot. Like, you can store a kind of absurd amount of stuff in one of those 64K drives. And if I really need to, I do have the resources that I could make a few more of them. I'd rather automate the process for later. Eventually what I want to have is basically this whole little section here be 64K drives. And then we will essentially have infinite storage. So it'll be good. Anyway, I'm going to get everything loaded into the system here. Oh, also, I don't know if I actually showed you guys this. I crafted a tool belt from the tool belt mod, and this thing's pretty cool. So you craft it with some leather, an iron ingot and a little bit of string, not a big deal. It can then hold 2 slots by default, but then you can also craft belt pouches, and you can put up to 7 of these onto the tool belt. So it can have a total of 9 items assigned to it, and then you can just insert the items you want access to, which is pretty cool. Saves you some hotbar space, and then you just hold down R, and you get like a little radial wheel, so you can swap around. It's super useful for keeping your hotbar from being like stupidly cluttered with just tools, which is one of the downsides to Minecraft, is just, you know, half your hotbar is taken up just by the tools that you want to have with you all the time. But anyway, I'm going to get back to loading up the ME system, or the refined storage system. I'm going to use those two terms interchangeably. I don't care if it's not technically an ME system, which is what the applied energistics one was called. I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. Anyway, I'm going to get to it. So I've just realized that I've made a terrible mistake, and that is that when you set the priority, you need to click set afterwards, otherwise it doesn't save. So my system got all... I'm going to have to basically take everything out of my ME system and put it back in so that it stores it properly, which is rather annoying. Should have double-checked that first. Now, if I remember correctly, there is actually a way around having to take everything out manually. Because the thing is, when you're looking at these discs, once something is on the disc, it's going to stay on the disc. It's not going to recognize, oh, I should be over here instead, unless you manually pull it out and then put it in. But there's a way around this, I think. So what we can do here is grab ourselves this disc manipulator. Is this how I want to do this? You know what I think I want to do instead? Is grab this controller and put it there. And that way we'll have plenty of room for cables and all this kind of good stuff. So if we put a cable here, I believe if I take this disc out, this is priority 0, and we put this in here, it's going to start grabbing stuff out of here and transferring it over here. And anything that's on here that should be in a storage drawer instead will get sent to the storage drawer. So it's a way to kind of like clean this up. I'm going to move a couple things around. I want symmetry. Okay. We'll put the disk manipulator there. We'll put a disk drive here. And then you get the drive that doesn't have much on it. You get the drive that has a ton of stuff on it. Okay, cool. Now, this is insanely slow, as you can see. It's going like one item at a time, and that's not great. So what we actually want to do is make a few things, and we're going to start with some speed upgrades. So let's make... let's just make like a stack. Oh, do I not have any? Oh, yeah, of course I don't. All my gold is currently in the smeltery. This also lets us demonstrate the other thing that's so amazing about refined storage and applied energistics too, for that matter, which is the ability to craft directly from essentially a combined inventory of like everything you own, which is just awesome. So if we dump this stuff in there, now, when I say craft me the stuff, I can make a whole bunch of these. We can get those smelting up here. Just grab a few like so, toss that in, and let's just go ahead and make 4 of these to begin with. Actually, no. Let's just make as many of these as we can. I don't have that many of the gold processing units in there anyway, so that's fine. Okay. Then we want sugarcane. And I don't have a ton, but we can make, say, 5 of those. 10 of those. We'll make 10. That's fine. And then we just... Oh, we need more sugar. Okay. That's fine. I do have some sugarcane. I can always go get more sugarcane. It's not that hard to find. And we'll set up a sugarcane farm in the future. So let's see. How many of these do I have right now? I've got a couple of speed upgrades, but no stack upgrades. So let's make another speed upgrade. Let's make one stack upgrade. And then let's make a few more speed upgrades. And what we can do is if we click on this, we should be able to put some of these. No, that didn't work. That did not work at all. Do we put them over here? Is that where they go? Now will this start sucking things out faster? Oh, no. Right, because I moved where the disk manipulator stuff works. Okay, there we go. So now you can see it is sucking items out significantly faster than before, which is great. But I think what we really want is another one of these stack upgrades. So let's just go like so. And we'll just swap that guy out. And now it's going, like, moderately faster. Now it's doing okay. It's still not, like, insanely fast. And I can't remember if you're better off just having 4 stack upgrades. Let's see. Looks like each tick it's going down by about 100 and... Oh, no, it's not. I don't know. It's not going down by the same amount every time. Is this slower? It definitely appears to be. I don't know. I'll have to experiment and find out. I mean, then again, I suppose you could just do something like that and just make one more stack upgrade. And let's just see if I put you in. Does that make you even faster? It seems to be going somewhat fast. I don't know. The upgrades are like kind of finicky. I wish it told you specifically like, hey, this is how much of a difference it makes. But it kind of feels like you're better off with 2 stack upgrades and then 2 speed upgrades. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is transfer everything over. You can see we had like, I think 17,000 or something like that on here. And as it transfers over, it's going to be using significantly less because stuff is going to get redirected to the storage drawers where it actually belongs. So, fantastic. Yeah, there you go. So as you can see, after we put it through the disk manipulator, all the same items are in there. It's just that now we're only using 7,300. So we cut it in half or maybe more by doing that. And I didn't have to manually take everything out of the system, which would have just been a massive headache. So not too bad. This thing is going well. Now you may be wondering, how in the world is this going to actually help out with the quarry? And the answer is very simple. So we're going to grab these stack upgrades. And let's go speed. And I'll just grab a few. We'll just grab some of each, right? And then this stuff can all go in there as well. And now what we need to do is make an ender chest, specifically this guy from ender chests, not the vanilla default one. Let's go ahead and make a couple of eyes of ender. There we go. And then we'll make 2 ender pouches. And then the other nice thing about this, too, is... actually, we probably want 3 of these, now that I think about it. Because this will dump stuff directly into the network, won't it? I think it will. You know what? We're going to want more of these ender chests in the future anyway. Let's just go ahead and make 1 more. It's not a big deal. There we go. Okay, so now we'll toss those 2 in. And now, ooh, I need more blaze rods. 1 second. Well, 1 short trip to the nether later, and we should now be good to go. So, let's just make 2 of these guys. And then, do I have any... What do I have for dye? Not much. Let's just grab 2 light blue dye. And this is how we are going to make this work. Now, I almost forgot. We are also going to need, from refined storage, an importer and an exporter. And these are very important as well. So, for each of these, let's just see. We need 2... Oh, I actually already have a couple of these, so that won't be a problem. But then we're going to need... let's see. Each one needs an importer and an exporter. Is that right? Oh, I actually only needed 2. Whatever, it's fine. It's not a big deal. What did I do? I guess I put away the smelting factory. And this guy. Shouldn't have done that yet. It's fine. Just make a couple of those, toss those in there, and now we need to make 1 destruction core and 1 construction core. And we go an importer and an exporter. So here's essentially how this is going to work. Although I suppose technically we don't need the exporter. I mean, it'll get used for other things later. We just need the importer. But basically what we're going to do is grab ourselves this chest, just like that. And we're going to put the... that's not working. Put that here. Ender chest there. We'll put the importer on top, like so. And then we'll dump, to start with, a couple of speed upgrades. Now you can look, there's not much, there's nothing in here at the moment. That's fine. But we'll get these guys in. And then grab, did I put the dye back? I think I did. Yep, I did. So let's just take 1 light blue dye and we'll just right click the middle one. And then we just pop up here to you, turn this thing off, and put this guy here instead. And we don't actually need this anymore. We shift right click this so it's on the same thing. And now when we turn this thing on, you can see stuff is going into the system. And it looks like the speed and stack upgrades that we have on there are doing a perfectly serviceable job of keeping up. Yeah, it looks like this won't be a huge issue, so that's great. We can toss these back in, and now... Okay, this is just my ender chest. It does not actually give me access to this network. Ooh, and now you're struggling to keep up. Okay, so let's just see if we go... Let's just see if we can make any difference here. The problem comes when you get hit with, like, a ton of different items at once. So if I put in another stack upgrade... That's not really doing anything. And if I put in 2 speed upgrades instead, that's also not... It doesn't really seem to make a huge difference either way. Yeah. Okay. I just wish we had a slightly bigger... Yeah, man, it's really struggling to keep up there. Maybe we're better off doing it this way. I mean, this thing is filling up so fast. I'm going to have to go and see about making more of these. Get some more sugarcane and stuff so I can try and make another stack upgrade. Because this is, like, it's okay, but... Let's just see. If I make... Alright, we're out of that. That's not a big deal. Can make a stack. Make 4 stacks. There we go. Toss those in. And let's just see. I mean, you would think... Oh, really? I'm completely out of sugarcane. Okay, well, for now, hopefully this will be able to keep up. You would think the stack upgrades would be better since it takes 4 speed upgrades to make a single stack upgrade. So maybe that's the way to go. But either way, that should work. So now everything from our quarry will basically just get dumped into the system and accumulate there. And I've got void upgrades on everything, so we should be good. So the other thing you can do to just speed it up more, and what you're the words are hard, and what you're realistically going to have to do if you're going to basically use one ender chest to dump everything into your system, is you can put multiple importers onto the same thing. So what we could do, I mean, realistically, you only need, I mean, I suppose you could even put it floating in the air, and then you could use every side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could have 6 of these things going at once. And you can see 2 of them together are doing a relatively decent job of keeping up with everything. So it's not too bad. And I think if we get a couple more, we should be, you know, golden. So that's probably what we're going to ultimately do in the long term. Or we could also have multiple ender chests, which is probably what we'll do. I'm thinking we'll have this one with the blue in the middle that's dedicated just for the quarry, because that is so many items coming in at once. And then we'll have another one that's for essentially everything else. And each one will be hooked up to multiple importers with upgrades. But I think the next thing we're going to have to do so we can afford all these speed upgrades is probably a sugarcane farm. Plus, I have a bunch more stuff I need to unload into my system, so, you know, things are going great, but we're out of time for this one. My friends, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.